One of the key factors in being an effective marketer is your ability as a marketer to increase the know, like, and trust factor with your community and with your audience because people buy from other people. One of the best ways to strengthen that bond is to build a community that you support, that you interact with, that gives people a chance to really get to know you and the value that you bring. Well, there's a little bit of buzz in the community space now. I'm going to call it new because it's new to me, although it's been around for a little while, but we're talking about Skool, right, Andrei? School's all the rage right now, especially on Facebook, I'm seeing.
Yeah, especially because Alex Hormozzi invested into it, right? I don't know. Did he buy the whole thing or he invested in it?
Yeah, so that was crazy. So it's a funny story. The reason we're going to do this episode is I just created a Skool community for the first time. I'm going to talk about why, the pros of it, any cons that I've seen, and really what I think the value in is in it. But yeah, I was surprised to see that Hermosi, I think, invested in it. I think he put a significant chunk in there with Sam Ovens, who's the creator of it, who many people know.
Mm-hmm.
He blew up and went crazy, a couple years ago with consulting.com. But yeah, after I signed up for Skool, I found out that Hermosi had invested in it like the same day or the next day. And it was because I had made a post about it on Facebook. And then I heard a bunch of people calling me out without using my name saying, oh, the Skool train is leaving the station because Hermosi invested in it, which it's not the reason I did, but it's cool that he did. That's pretty interesting.
Yeah, and you mentioned Sam Ovens, right? He's the
Mm-hmm.
one that created it. Yeah, I remember when I went to the mastermind for ClickFunnels, he was there and he was talking to people about Skool. And we had a past guest, what's his name? Doug
Mm-hmm.
Button. And then he basically said that he was trying it out to see how it worked, right? So this was like a year and a half ago already, and then that's when he barely first started. And I think he's been using it for a long time now.
Yeah, I have seen Doug, who was a past guest. I've seen him promoting it, and he's got a new community-based education program that I think the main goal is to teach people how to use Skool and get into Skool. So there's a little free plug for him. Obviously, he's
Mm.
doing it to help his community, but they have an affiliate program as well, which we'll talk about, I'm sure. But I'd like to hear if you can remember back, Andre, do you remember anything that Sam Ovens was talking about Skool? Because until this second, I didn't know he was at that mastermind and talking about Skool. Do you have any recollection of what he talked about or not really?
Yeah, he just wanted to build a community. He didn't really present about it because I think it was like the early stages of it.
Mhm.
But he was talking to some of the people that were in the ClickFunnels community about this new software because it is a software, right? To build a community. And, I feel like it has a lot of potential, I feel like it's still in the beginning stages. I feel like there's still more features that should be there already. But I feel like it's just gonna grow and it's gonna just keep getting better.
Yeah, I think it has a lot of potential. And not just from a community standpoint, but it really, after using it, it almost has a potential to be kind of like a social media platform, the way you can bounce around and discover new communities. And that's kind of their tagline. If you go over to skool.com, and we'll link this down in the show notes or the description so you can get over and check it out. But the tagline is discover communities or create your own, right? So that they have a discovery as the headline. And that's kind of the idea is they want people to come in, join the platform, maybe because of a community, but then explore other communities to interact with. So it's almost like it has a social media aspect in it, or at least that's their game plan.
Yeah, I mean, you can create a profile, right? You can chat with people. I don't know if you can add friends, but you can join communities. So I don't know. Instead of that tagline, it should be Facebook groups are dead, or something like that.
And that's it. That's where we'll go. We'll talk about why I decided to start a Skool community because I have a Facebook group and it's about 32,000 people. So it's fairly significant. But about 3 to 6 months ago, I started getting pretty frustrated with Facebook communities, which we'll dive into. And then I decided to look for another alternative because having a community is great for marketing. It's great for building your brand. It's great for growing your business because that's what people want. They want to have, in addition to courses and training, they want to have that place where they can interact and share their wins and meet with other people who are like-minded in the same niche or in the same process or in the same part of their journey. and they want to be able to ask questions of the mentor or the creator or the expert that they're following. So communities are important. But yeah, I got super frustrated with Facebook communities, and I'll kind of dive into that right now. Do you have a Facebook community, Andre?
Yeah, right now I have a Facebook. I used to have a Facebook community for my English affiliate marketing business,
Hmm.
which it was pointless to me. I don't know, like I feel like those people were just joining and not engaging. It's really hard managing a community, first of all. Like you have to put in a lot of time, you have to answer questions, you have to have people share their values, and that's hard to do. If somebody doesn't want to do it, you can't make them do it, right?
Right.
So at some point it's just you're the only one sharing value. But yeah, my English one, it didn't work out for me, honestly, as an affiliate because I didn't consider myself a mentor, right? I was just putting people in a group to build a community. But now with my Spanish program, everybody's there as a community. So right now I have a lot of people sharing value. So right now it's working really well. There's people that help me to answer questions. And then people step up, when they see what you're building, people step up. So I don't have any issues right now with my community. But yeah, I do have some experience with the Facebook groups.
That's interesting. So you're running your Spanish program community on Facebook groups. You're seeing good engagement. And I think that's maybe the disclaimer we should put out here before we even dive into it here today is that communities are tough. There's a lot of effort that has to be put into them to nurture them, especially in the beginning stages where it's 100 or 200 people and people are nervous about sharing and opening up in there. So you kind of got to be the leader, and that's really what it's all about. Eventually, they kind of take on a life of their own, and you get people like you said who step up and
Yeah.
are active and they engage and they help other people, which is the greatest way to actually evolve your skills is to help other people. So it doesn't matter what platform it is. A Skool platform community isn't going to fix everything. It's not going to be like all of a sudden, hey, this community is great, and I'm putting in the same effort. You still have to put the effort in the community. But let's talk about why I was frustrated with Facebook. And you said a lot of it when you were talking about your affiliate marketing community. It's like people come in and it don't share. It's crickets. They join and never interact. They join and never come back. And before you know it, the community leader is putting all this effort forth for really no return, and that's pretty frustrating. But the thing that I discovered after joining Skool, they say hindsight is 2020, Andre, is I think it's a culture thing between Facebook and the new Skool platform because I'm seeing what I would call instant results with the Skool community, meaning automatically people are more engaged, they're treating it with more respect, they want to be there first and foremost, and they want to follow the rules. And I started thinking about why after I'd been a community organizer on Skool for a couple of weeks, and it really hit me that it's culture. It's the way
Mm.
people are trained to interact on certain platforms. And what I mean by that is like if you go on TikTok and you follow someone, you're going to interact with them differently than if it's on Instagram. You think that's fair to say?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. So you have different expectations. Well, I think once again with the benefit of hindsight, I've realized that Facebook and the way Facebook rewards engagement above all else has trained the community on Facebook to, instead of providing value, instead of starting a conversation, to me, the Facebook groups, they're just all about engagement. Someone might put a great post and then share some value. It might be the mentor or the leader or the expert, or it might be a member of the community who's sharing their wins or sharing what they discovered. And then everything underneath that, all the comments is just people in the group saying, I agree. So true. Great point. I mean, did you see kind of the same thing in maybe your affiliate marketing community where there was no real substance?
Yes, like you can put a post, get some engagement, and it doesn't the engagement it doesn't value the engagement as far as like anything will go through. You get me? Like anything, and if anybody puts something in the comments, it's gonna categorize it as, oh, this is getting engagement. You get
Right.
me? Instead of actually somebody giving value with the
Right.
engagement.
Right. And it's like Facebook has rewarded any sort of engagement. That's an excellent point. It's not quality of engagement, it's just any sort of engagement. So members, marketers, people who want to get more reach, they understand like, hey, I just got to comment on everything because I'll get a better return on my efforts than actually making a thought out, response.
Mhm.
Because if it's just a thought out response, nobody's going to see it, right? The way Facebook
Yeah,
works is if you engage with this one and this, and then person B engages with it, then they might see your engagement on the other post, right? And people are teaching this strategy where it's like, hey, what's the number one thing you got to do? You just got to engage with everything so people will see your comments, and your comments will be highlighted on posts and you'll get reached that way. And so it's like kind of a situation where now the tail's wagging the dog, so to speak, where people have been trained or conditioned to only post real quick engagement bait uh, interactions on posts inside communities. So therefore, there's never conversations being had. You think that's a fair
exactly.
assessment?
Yeah, especially when I think Facebook also gives you like a badge for top contributor or top person that comments or whatever. And it's just like they're just commenting anything, they're not really adding value, and then they're getting that badge, and now they're the experts or like it's just getting labeled wrong, I guess you can say that.
Right. They're
Um,
rewarding the
but
wrong things.
exactly, and it's all engagement, right? Because you can have a post and you can comment it from 2 weeks ago, and it will jump to the top, right? And then if nobody else engages with that post, then you'll just slowly die down. And then eventually nobody will see it because if it's an active group, more people are going to be posting stuff. But that's the thing that I don't like. Every post should be seen by everybody in the community, which in reality, that never really happens.
That was probably my biggest problem is you can't in a Facebook community you can't make an announcement. Your best bet is to say, hey, I created a video that shares 3 insights about where social media is going. Drop a comment if you want to see it, right? That's the only way to get
Right.
reach. And then everyone comments video or #3, and then you got to go back and respond to everybody to give them the link over to the video. I mean, that's the only way to ensure that Facebook post gets seen. So there's no control. So it's actually a horrible way to manage a community, in my opinion. Plus, the search functionality inside of a community on Facebook isn't very good either. Like if you're trying to search for their answer to something, I think it's kind of hard to get the relevant posts. Is that fair? Have you messed around with that at all? Or
Well, there have some features, like the post. You can create a poll, and if people can search for the poll, I believe. If you have a guide, you can categorize it into a guide, but it's just extra steps that you have to take. And keep in mind, not everybody knows how to use it. Not everybody knows how to use Facebook, and that's the other learning curve that people have to go. Most people just join a Facebook group and then they don't know what to do still. You
yeah,
get
I
me? They don't know that they have to interact or anything like that.
I have seen that because I did create a guide in my group back, year and a half ago where it was like, hey, this is the first 5 things you need to do if you want to become an affiliate marketer. And I categorized it and created the guide. And you're right. People didn't know how to find the guide, and it just became a bigger issue. Or people didn't know how to continue through the guide. Maybe they find lesson 3 and not be able to find lessons 1, 2, 5, and 6, or 4 and 5. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
So it was tough. So that was kind of my first reason for jumping out and looking for an alternative. That's where it all started. It wasn't like I heard about Skool. It was like I need to find an alternative so I can get the type of community that I want. And I'm not here to bash Facebook groups. Once again, it all comes back to what we said earlier. How you treat it, how you manage it's going to go a long way in determining the success of it. But yeah, that inability to have posts be viewed, I guess, in chronological order was a
Yeah.
big one for me because Skool, you mentioned this to me inside my community. If something gets engaged with, it gets bumped up to the top. But by
Right.
default, if I post something, it starts at the top. And
Yep.
that's the big different distinction that I think is important. And it'll stay at the top until other engagement beats it out.
Yeah, because I'm also learning it. And exactly, I joined your community, and I remember I put, hey, this post was 4 days ago, and it jumped to the top. You get
Right.
me? So it was just like we're learning the algorithm of it. So in a sense, I feel like it values new content more,
Mhm.
but it also doesn't let old content die if somebody engage with it.
Right.
Will you think that's fair to say?
I think that's an excellent assessment. That's the best way to put it in as few words as possible is, new content reigns supreme, but old content won't die, especially if it's relevant. And that's important in a community too, because a community is not a group of people that starts at 500 and stays at 500. A community is a platform where people come in every day or every week, and they may be starting back from scratch. So if there's something that's supremely relevant for someone who's just coming into the community, I think that should get bounced up to the top just to
Yeah.
kind of help all those people who are brand new. Yeah.
Yeah, especially if somebody comes in and be like, "Hey, thank you for accepting me." I want those people to get that hyped. Like, hey, people are commenting, people are liking my thing. I think that feels good, especially for a beginner or somebody that is getting to know the whole platform. Now let's talk a little bit about the features that it has, right?
Hmm.
Something that I noticed about your group is that you have, when somebody posts, I believe it's every community, but if somebody posts, you have to click and put a category.
Hmm.
So a category could be like a regular discussion or a Q&A, or, I think you have your inner circle group as well. So people need to put a category in order for them to post something. And what it does is categorizes in a separate folder, basically, right? When the questions go through. I think you have all your folder with everything, and then you have the regular categories, hashtags, for example, wins, stuff like that, right?
Yeah. So anything will come up on the general discussion, but you're right. You have to select a category when you're posting, which I think is great because it forces folks to categorize it properly or with relevance to the post that they're creating. So what that does from a community organizer or moderator standpoint is makes things easier. Like you can get in your zone where it's like, hey, I'm answering questions now. Hey, I'm talking strategy now. You can create as a group creator, you can create as many categories as you want, and they sit along the top. But the other cool thing is anything that's posted does go into the general discussion. So if someone has a question, they can put it under the Q&A. I know, hey, that's exactly what we have here. We have a question that needs to be answered, but it'll also show up for everybody. So if they're not actively searching for Q&A, they can be like, oh, I had that question too. I'm glad it was shown to me. So that does
Exactly.
make it helpful. And from a community management standpoint, I think it makes it a lot easier. The other thing I really like about it, which is a cool feature, I guess, is it's really good about showing you what actions have been taken since you, as the moderator, last logged in. For example, that was kind of my big issue with Facebook is if I log in and just hit my notifications tabs, it's like who liked this post, who commented on this reel, and it was just all kind of clumped together under one notifications tab. Whereas the Skool community, it's just the community, so there's not all this other distracting information there as well. It's like, okay, cool. Since I last logged in, these three posts were liked, these two comments were left, and this one question was asked. And it's really easy for me to go through and just keep up to date. I only have to log in, 2 or 3 times a day, and everything's right there. Oh, there's 7 things I need to attend to. Knock those out, and I know the community's up to date because that's a big aspect of keeping a community fresh and going is making sure everything gets attended to, right?
Right. And that community notification is just for you, right? For the course, for the community creator, right? Because I haven't really seen that feature, to be honest,
Yeah.
as a
So if I
member.
log in there into my community, there's a little bell on the top right, and it'll say, hey, this post was liked, and it's all in chronological order. 2 hours ago, this post was
Mm,
liked. 3 hours ago, this comment was left. 4 hours ago, this was said. And then I can basically
okay.
uncheck everything as I address it. And then everything's cleared out. My notifications are cleared out, just like deleting your email or getting rid of your text message. It's like, okay, cool. I'm back down to zero. Now I know I can log out. And the next time I log back in, I'll have all my tasks really organized in chronological order. So it makes it a lot easier.
Yeah, that's super interesting because it keeps you more organized. Especially at least for Facebook groups, you get not every notification. You get me? First of all, it's not categorized. Somebody might comment on somewhere, but you won't see it, because Facebook doesn't notify the admin or the moderator maybe some posts, but not every single post. So every day I find myself scrolling through my feed on my Facebook group just to see what's going on, because I don't really see every single thing that is being communicated or posted on the group. And that's, I guess that's why you need moderators, you need admins, you need people helping you, especially with the community. And I think that's what makes it hard when you build a community, right?
Yeah, because that's it. I mean, if you build a community and then leave things unattended to, you're probably actually doing more harm than good. Because here they're making the effort and you're ignoring them, not intentionally, but that's happened to me before where it's like someone will come into my inner circle and be like, "Hey, I left this in the Facebook group. I haven't heard a response." It's like, "I'm sorry. It wasn't intentional. It's just I never saw it." And
Exactly.
you can see how you can create that, I don't want to say animosity, but there's kind of a negative feeling associated with that where it's like, "Oh, man, I really dropped the ball on that one." So,
It's like, I mean, put it this way, people don't like being ignored. You
yes.
get me? They hate being ignored. If you want to ask a question and you don't get an answer, then it's just like fuck this shit.
Yeah.
Like you're like you wanna just not do anything. Um, Another cool thing that I saw also is that you can have like classrooms where you can also pull like a course. So in a sense, it will be like a guide from Facebook, but in Skool you can actually put like a full course in it. And I don't know, is that like something like to link up a whole like, training or like a whole, 5-day challenge or whatever, you can just build everything in one single platform. It's interesting that part that, and I just learned it like literally before this interview, before
Yeah.
this episode.
And that's the thing. I mean, the subject we haven't touched on yet is the fact that you have uh, control over pricing of your community. For example, created my community. It's free to join, but if I wanted to, I could charge, $9 a month, $29 a month, $100 a month. I can charge whatever I want in order to allow access to that community. So you can have free communities or you can have paid communities. And there are a lot of paid communities on there. And that's a great opportunity to kind of have everything hosted under one roof, for example. So let's say you wanted to sell a course for $100 or something like that. Well, instead, what you could do is you could create it on the Skool platform, create your course, host it right on Skool platform, but have the community aspect be a part of it. Now, instead of charging $100 or $200, now you could charge $49 a month, for example, if you wanted. And people get access to the course, but they also get running access to the community. So hopefully they're more likely to pay. And it's a Stripe integration. They may have other payment processors integrated as well, but the billing's done right through the Skool platform. So you don't have to have a separate checkout page. You don't have to worry about creating a funnel for it. It's literally right through the Skool platform that the payments are processed, and then they pay out every couple days, just like Stripe would.
Yeah, well, that's giving me ideas too, because I have, for my business, I have my low ticket, right?
Mhm.
Community for the low ticket. I also have a community for the high ticket, which is a separate Facebook group, right? Separate chat and everything. But I also want to have a community for my inner circle, which would be like the premium members. And I can probably utilize that feature from Skool in order for them to have access directly to me and with like the inner circle people. So I think I'm thinking about it now, about it.
Yeah, and that's what's fun is this is a new platform to me, and I'm kind of the wheels are starting to turn a little bit too. It's like, interesting. And then I would imagine, I don't know this is 100% for sure, but I would imagine if you have a paid community and let's say it's X number of dollars per month, I would imagine if someone stops paying, then their access is then blocked. So it's
Exactly.
automatic. You know what I mean?
Exactly. And if the community is great and you're really good at managing the community, people are not wanna leave the community.
Right.
Exactly, right? Like right now, for example, I have people that pay a membership for my coaching, right? And then every month, they're like, "Yeah, I'm gonna pay for it because I don't wanna miss those coaching calls." You
Right.
get me? And those little things is like they keep coming back just because of that.
Yeah, and I do the same thing as well, It's, the opportunity to give people to come back to something because offering a membership is great, but if it's just stagnant material, if it's just a course, no matter how great it is, once people get through that course, they're gonna be like, well, why am I paying for this anymore? So you have to have that ongoing community and the Zoom calls and or whatever it is, however you want to run it, however you want to present it. But yeah, I mean, then it becomes a monthly recurring revenue. So that's interesting opportunity that I'll be looking into going
Yeah.
forward. And so far, everyone
th-
loves the Skool platform. I've got nothing but great feedback. I think a lot of people were frustrated with with the other options out there. And so far the feedback has been good. The community is not huge, but I think we're over 300 people now, so it's growing. If not over 300, we're very close. And people are really liking it. People are thankful for it. It does cost $99 a month as the community moderator, right? So if I want to host a
mhm.
community there, I have to pay $99 a month. So I want to just throw that out there, make sure everybody understands that. But that's great because people know it costs $99 a month to host a community there. So it has a higher perceived value. And with marketing, right, that's really what it all comes down to is what are you offering? What's the perceived value of that? Well, hey, I'm not charging you, is kind of my pitch, but yeah, I have to pay for the community, but that's okay. No problem. I'm happy to do it for you,
Yeah,
right? So there's that aspect to it as well.
exactly. And you since you're paying, you're probably gonna want to pay a little more attention to it as well. It gives you more like initiative, I guess you can say.
Yeah, it gives me some good incentive to show up and make it great because otherwise I'm just going to be paying $100 a month for a group of people that don't interact, and I can get that for free on other platforms. So
Another thing that I saw for another feature, I guess you can say, right, is the gamification section of it, which is super interesting because I am super competitive. First of all, I play soccer. We just won the league, so I'm super excited about it. But like, regardless, any type of competition, if we're playing Monopoly, we're playing Uno, like I'm just super competitive in that sense, and it has this gamification side of it where I think there's like a leaderboard of the members, right? Of people that engage and who's the top person that engages. I don't know how you get the points, but that section of it is super interesting because, people like to compete, and it's a friendly competition. It's not like I'm aggressive about it. It's just a friendly competition. But I feel like it gets my blood pumping more, especially when I see something like that.
yeah, and I know I think Alex Hermosi, he's over there, what's he calling it? School games or something like that.
Oh,
Where he's
yeah.
where he's using the gamification feature heavily. So that's definitely worth checking out and diving into and seeing what he's doing and how he's awarding points and how he's getting people to move up the leaderboard. But that's really what it comes down to in this day and age is keeping people engaged until they, if your number one goal is to make a sale, you got to keep them engaged until they make a sale, right? Like that's the biggest obstacle with so many options, so many shiny objects, so many people holding communities. It's like you got to keep people active, and competition's a great way to do that. I mean, you said so
Yeah.
yourself. It gives you something to strive for. It gives you a reason to engage. It gives you a reason to share value or maybe bring other people to the community. I don't know how he's doing it, but whatever the point system is, you can bet that it's going to get a lot of people get the blood pumping. I think is what you said.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, it makes it more fun, especially like when you're so used to doing the same things every day. You need some type of like, some type of fun. You get me? Or else you're gonna get bored, or else you're not gonna care about it too much. So I think it's a great feature for sure. In order to implement that with your business, and so that's something that Doug talked about also. He always tried to make it a game with his clients to see who will get the most engagement or who will make the most sales or stuff like that, right?
Yeah, and it does. It's that friendly competition. We saw this with one of the programs that we first started promoting is how we met with Legendary Marketer. They always had their scoreboard and that got people going, man. It's like I'm on the scoreboard. It was great
Yeah.
for newbies if they made the 1 day scoreboard, and then there was kind of an aspect of it where the more seasoned affiliates were saying, "Oh, I'm on top for the 30 days or whatever." So whether you think that's a good thing or a bad thing, because I think they're doing away with that. The bottom line is that competition really gets people going.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Especially when you're at the top, right? You're like, oh damn, I'm
Yeah,
at the
it's
top.
more fun to
I
be at
need, I
the
never.
top. Yeah, that's for sure.
That's funny because we're both being up there, so it's cool to see new people like come through, and you're like, oh, what are they doing now, right?
Right.
Um, but yeah, anyways, email marketing, this cool platform also has email marketing, and it's like super simple where somebody posts something, you get an email notification that somebody is being active in the group, right? And then you get to see like a summary of everything at the end of the day, I guess you can say. And it's super
Yeah.
simple. Like everybody gets those notifications.
Yeah. It's not sent out for every post. So if you join a school group, for example, or you moderate a school group, your email inbox isn't going to be flooded with hey, this person liked this post, this person commented on this post. What they do is they send them out in batches, so to speak. And this is another great aspect of it. And I'll talk about why in just a second, but let's explain the functionality, how it works first. So whether you're in the group as just a member or you're moderating, it's my understanding that it works pretty much the same way. And what that is every couple of hours, Skool will send you a notification that says, here's the 6 things that's happened in the last 3 hours or whatever. And then it'll give you a summary of what's going on. Now, from a moderator standpoint, that's great because it's like, okay, cool. That's a reminder that it's time to get in, check, and see what the most recent things are so you can check them off and address everything. From a member standpoint, though, what's that doing? That's increasing engagement. That's reminding people that they have to get back into the platform and see what's new, right? It's going to be more like a curiosity thing where it's like, oh, I want to go see what so and so said about, what and what. And that's exactly right. Excuse me. These notifications come to your inbox, which is another feature that I love over, for example, Facebook groups. And once again, I'm not trying to trash Facebook groups. It's just this is my only experience that I can compare it to. Is when you have a Facebook account, if you're in a group, you're going to get notifications if a post is doing well, but those notifications get lost in everything else. Those
Yeah.
notifications are, excuse me, lumped into, hey, Aunt Sherry liked my picture of, cousin Bobby or whatever, so it kind of gets lost. Whereas this comes as a dedicated email, which people are used to checking on a regular basis. And it says, hey, here's what you've missed, basically. And it invites people back into the community.
Exactly. Yeah, I think it's a great way for everybody to be updated on the same thing, right? Everybody just getting those notifications, those summaries at the end of the day or in the middle of the day. You say hi periodically. I don't know how to say
Periodically.
it.
Yeah. And as the group
Yeah.
moderator, as the group moderator, I'm losing my voice here apparently or something, but I'm going to struggle through it here. As
Yeah.
the moderator, you can choose how often those notifications go out. And I don't know what all
Oh,
the
okay, okay,
increments
okay,
are.
okay. Okay, I had no idea you were able to choose how often they want to be notified when somebody posts something on the group. I gotcha. I didn't know
Yeah.
that was a feature.
Yeah. So I think I have mine set for every 3 hours. It sends out a notification,
Okay,
but I think you can set it to weekly or daily, or you have options.
nice, nice. Yeah, it makes a lot of sense. I mean, you want people to come back to the group, right? Because they get an email and now they get another notification. They start looking at the summary of the people that notify or like the people that post something. But if you want to check something out, you have to go back to the platform. And that I think that's what they're doing. They're making you go back to the platform in order for you to engage more.
Right. You see something that's interesting in your email and you're like, oh, I'm going to go comment on that. And that's exactly right. It's all about bringing people to the platform and
Yeah.
increasing engagement. I think that's what Skool has done really well is, they've modeled what works for community moderators and organizers and marketers or whatever you want to call them and bake those things into the platform, right? Because as a business owner, you know, community is high on your list, but it's usually not the number one priority. So to allow the platform to automatically remind people to get back in is great because it takes something off your plate where it's like, oh man, I haven't sent an email or made a post in 2 hours. At least there's still some reminders going out like, hey, you joined this platform, you joined this community because you wanted to get something out of it. Well, here's what's going on. Why don't you come back in?
I wonder if there's a feature where it kicks people out if they do not engage. You get me?
Oh, like
Because
you
at
that you
least
can set automatically?
right, because when you do a Facebook group, you have some questions, right? To accept them into the group or whatever. And you can say, one of the rules is you have to engage with people or whatever. You have to check the mark to get approved. That'd be cool if there was a feature that the people that are dead, the people that are not dead, but like the people that don't engage with anything, they should not be there. You get me? So keep the group like highly active.
Yeah, that is interesting. So, I think you want to avoid, creating the same problem that we've created over on Facebook where you reward
Exactly.
engagement of any time and any type. So that's something to consider. But yeah, that would be interesting to if there was a feature. I don't think there is,
But if you
but like
if you
this person has
reward,
not
you
logged in
should
in
be
30
able.
days, boot them.
Exactly. Like if you reward people for good actions, you also have to penalize people for bad actions. I would think so.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a little less carrot and a little more stick, right?
Exactly. Exactly. So Brian, what do you think is gonna happen in the future? Like what do you think are the new features? What do you think is missing right now that it should like be like, whoa, this will be amazing.
Yeah, I mean, I haven't seen. Maybe I'm just haven't used it yet. Let's see if I let me go behind the scenes here, Andre, and see really quickly because um yes, okay. So what's really cool about it is you can embed videos right inside your posts, which is a feature that I've already used because video is so engaging and sometimes it's just easier to explain something in a video. And so if you want to create a post, for example, and you want to embed a video right in it, you can link from YouTube or you can link from video or you can link a Loom or you can link from Wistia, which are probably the
Hmm.
major video hosting platforms, which is great. Glad to see that's there. But I haven't seen yet, maybe I'm just missing it, but I haven't seen any sort of live feature. And I think that would be really cool. If you could host a live Q&A right inside the group, I think that would be fantastic because it's a great way to offer access to people in a really easy way. And what I mean by that is if you want to create a training video and the training video is 20 minutes, well, it's probably going to take you 45 minutes to an hour to complete that training video and either edit it or get it over to your editor and get it back and get it uploaded to YouTube and post it in this thing. So to have a live feature like, hey, we're going live at 6 p.m. or whatever, right inside the platform, not come over and find me on Zoom right inside the platform.
Yeah.
I think that would be really cool because that would create a whole nother aspect to the community. And I haven't seen anything like that. Have you?
No, so that's what I was getting at too, the live stream, because for a community, live stream is so important because first of all, you can teach right there and you can also answer questions.
Right.
Answering questions is something that people always look for in a community because if somebody joins a community, the main reason why they join is because they don't want to be alone. They want to
Mhm.
be around people that also want to be in a community and then they want to learn. But yeah, I think if they had like an integration with StreamYard, that'd be like maybe like the first step
Mhm.
into a live stream. Not literally go live on the platform, but at least just integrate it with StreamYard, which is a great platform to do live streams. I don't know if he has it right now, but if if they're listening, no, it's kidding. They should they
We're going
should
to
put
tag them when we
it
post this.
in. Yeah, we gotta tag Oven, Hormozy. Maybe they can put it right away. Just kidding. But yeah, StreamYard I've been using StreamYard for a little while now, and it's such a great platform to just go live in the Facebook groups, for example. Like I never go live on the group, but I use StreamYard to go live on the group. You get me? So it's an integration that it works really well, and I think if they add it up with the Skool platform, it will be amazing.
Yeah, I think that would be pretty cool. I would use it for sure because I've used StreamYard in the past. I've gone live natively on Facebook and something like StreamYard I think would be a lot easier. That way you're
Yeah.
not hosting the actual videos on your platform, which I'm sure adds to the overhead for a new what do you call it, software, I guess. So yeah, I think that's a great suggestion. Anything you've seen from like a user standpoint that's still a little bit weird because I'm in here trying to figure it out as a moderator standpoint, but you've
Mm-hmm.
been in there a little bit. I don't think you've spent a lot of time in there, but you've been in there a little bit as a user. Like, is there anything
Yeah.
weird like from the sign up process that you saw that the moderator should be aware of, or anything that you can think of?
No, from the sign up process, not at all. I like how you can link some posts to the top of your group. So people, maybe you can have like instructions, welcome to the group or blah blah blah, which is great. One thing that I haven't seen is a community chat. Okay, that's something that I have not seen. I don't know if they have it. I know you can send message to regular profiles, but I haven't seen a community chat. I feel like a community chat is really important, especially when you're building a community, because you
So
can
where
have
just
all the
people can kind
posts.
of talk to each other?
Exactly, exactly. I haven't seen that, and I don't know if they have the feature. Maybe they will in the future, but that's something that I feel like it helps a lot, especially with my community. At least on Facebook, we
Hmm.
have this chat where if anybody has a question right away, we can answer it. People can answer it. Because regardless of you posting, doing like a regular publication, there might be, you can still lose it. People might not be able to see it. But if you have that chat, people will like, okay, let me see what happened today, and then they start looking at the chat, and they okay answer. They answer questions. It's much easier to answer questions through a community chat, I guess you can say.
Right.
That's something that I would like to see, to be honest.
Yeah, no, that makes a lot of sense. That is a great feature because you're just using it through Facebook Messenger, right? Where once someone buys into your community, you lump them into the group,
Yeah.
the
So they
chat
go into
group.
the Facebook group, and then the Facebook group has its own chat. You
Hmm.
know.
That's really cool. Yeah, that would be a great feature. Um, because you're right. That it's almost like simple, instant feedback, so to speak, if you will, or engagement.
Right. Yeah. And it makes the members feel more at ease, that somebody's there 24, not 24/7, but like as whenever I see my phone, I'm able to respond to everything, all the questions in one go and then leave it alone. You get me?
Right.
So I think that would be a great feature to have as well.
Yeah, I think that'd be great. All right, Sam and Alex, you've heard it here first. Let's see what we can do. Well, I guess let's kind of finish this episode off and talk about the last feature, because this is near and dear to our heart, I guess, in a sense that this is how we finally broke out of our 9 to 5ers, or our, I don't know, well, they weren't really 9 to 5 jobs. They were more like 11 a.m. to 1 a.m. jobs. But the affiliate marketing aspect of it, Skool does have an affiliate program. So in general, you can sign up, you can get your affiliate link, and you can refer people to Skool. And then anybody who actually creates a community or creates a membership where they're paying to have the opportunity to create a community, that's $99 a month, and the referring affiliate gets 40%. So that
Yeah.
becomes a monthly recurring revenue feature. Now, there's two ways that you can use this, I think. First of all, if you're an affiliate marketer, you can simply show people how to create a community, give the pros of Skool over other platforms, and then just simply provide the affiliate link, right? That would be pretty standard affiliate marketing. Fair enough.
Yeah. You teach and then you have them implement, and then that's it. Like you get paid in the back end.
Right. This could be as simple as creating a YouTube video. Here's the 10 things I like about Skool. Create the YouTube video. If you want to create your own Skool community, check out the link in the description to sign up. Right. Boom. Simple as that. Anyone who joins and starts paying, you're going to get 40% of that. The other way, though, which is really interesting, especially for those of us who teach other affiliates, or if we're the traditional, or I don't say traditional, but if we're the coach coaching coaches, you know what I mean? Like, everyone says that in a funny sort of way, but there's a lot of us out there who are coaches coaching coaches, right? Or marketing experts coaching coaches, or engagement experts coaching coaches, or traffic experts coaching coaches, or course creators, right? There's a lot of us out there. The really interesting thing about the Skool platform is anyone I invite to my group, just like, hey, I created this new community. Come on over to my group. Here's the link. It's free to join. They're automatically cookied to me. So I never gave them an affiliate link. I just gave them the invite link. They're two separate links. There's your traditional affiliate link, and then there's your group invite link. If I give someone my group invite link and then they start learning and they're like, "Oh, this is great. I want my own community." And then they create their paid membership so they can host their own community, then I'm going to get their commission, which I think is pretty
Yeah.
cool.
That's super interesting too, because all you gotta do is just invite people to your community.
Hmm.
If those people wanna move forward and then they like it and they also wanna create their own community, then you are gonna get a commission for those members. I think it's
Right.
great. Yeah.
Yeah. It's
And
genius
it's
because
probably
it's
a
just,
lifetime cookie, right?
I can't say that for sure. I think it is. Obviously, if they
Right.
created a new account, then it wouldn't translate because there's no click or no new cookie set. But yeah, it's got to be a lifetime cookie. Where as long as they create it with the same account, they go ahead and they're cookied back to the referring group creator or whatever.
Yeah, and just to clarify to everybody also, listening, it's free to start. You can be a member, you can join a community, and it's free. You don't have to pay the $99. But the moment where you wanna create your own community, you just have to go to the left tab, you create a community, and right there, when I wanna create a community, it says who I was referred by. So it says you were referred by Brian Brewer. You get
Right.
me? So
Hmm.
it's just like simple as that. But like I said, it's free. The moment you want to create your own community, then that and you invite members, you're doing affiliate marketing right there, just inviting people.
You're
Especially
right.
if you have a big email list. Hey guys, come over to my community, and then if it pays off, it's a long term thinking. Nothing's gonna be like that, but long term thinking is gonna get you more ahead than not thinking about it.
That's exactly right. And you want to do those things for your members anyways. You want them to have the community. This is just like added bonus. This is gravy. It's the same way that I've given away funnels. I've given away funnels because I wanted people to have the funnels. I wanted people to get started. I wanted people to be able to copy my funnels. But guess what? As an added bonus, I won the ClickFunnels Dream Car Award, right? Where they give me money for my car because eventually I've referred enough people just because they needed to create their account to use my free funnels where it's like, oh,
Yep.
you got this many active members. Here's your award. Here's your car. You know what I mean? So that's what it is. It's
Exactly.
long-term thinking, but it's gravy on top of what you should already be doing.
Just like system.io, it's free to start,
Mm-hmm.
but you're thinking long term, in a month you can have over 2,000 subscribers on your list. Now they're gonna have to pay for it. So
Right.
now you weren't thinking like, oh, I want to get paid right now, I'm promoting this, right? It's like, no, a month later I'm gonna get a $10 commission out of one
Right.
person.
And that's exactly right. I started with this. I switched from recommending ClickFunnels to recommending System.io. I make commissions every single day now. Now, it took a while to get there because once again, it's free to start, but people have to upgrade when they have over 2,000 contacts, for example. They have to upgrade if they want to create a secondary funnel or a secondary automated email campaign. They have to
Yep.
upgrade if they want more than like 3 automation rules. So there's little triggers in there that say, oh, all right, well, I'm going to upgrade to the $27 a month. And then the next one, the next one. It's long-term thinking, but it's something you're already doing for your business anyway. So why not do it strategically, right?
Exactly. Well, I think it was a great episode. We touched bases with Skool. If you guys want to join a community or create your own community, we'll link the description. So you guys can go ahead and get started with Skool.
Yeah. It's really cool too. You'll see how it works. When you click the link in the description of the show notes or wherever you're watching or listening to this, you're going to see how it takes you over there and it's going to say, hey, you were referred by Evolve Marketing Podcast. And you're going to get the whole experience and, plus just support the show a little bit. And, we can, if you decide to start your community, right? That's the other thing to mention. It's
Exactly.
free to start. You can go in, interact, just play around with it. It's free. Doesn't cost you anything. And find some communities, join them. There's free ones, there's paid ones, and interact and learn the platform. Because while the Hormozy investment wasn't my deciding factor for creating it, it certainly makes me feel comfortable about building out on it.
Yep. Definitely. And that's what thing that he's promoting it. He's promoting building a business with Skool.
Mm-hmm.
You can literally probably have all in one platform right there, just from one software. So it's pretty cool. I mean, I'm excited for the future to see what's gonna happen, the new features that they're gonna have. Because if Hormozy put money into it, they're probably gonna have a lot of programmers, and they're gonna get it to the point where it's gonna be like the best community platform out there.
Yeah. Hormozy's got billionaire target in mind when he sees this one. He's like, this is it.
Yeah, exactly, exactly. I mean, that's the way, right? Software is the way to like catapult your income to like the space.
Yeah, I wouldn't recommend anyone start with that, but if you happen to hit 10, 20, 30 million a year, then maybe it's time to go look into some software. But that's the
Yeah,
thing. I mean, there's been 100 new community platforms probably in the last 5 years. It's about waiting long enough to see that this one has potential. That's kind of where we're at right now. It's like I'm not a first adopter here. I'm not a big believer in being a first adopter because you never know what's going to happen. But when you've seen it get through the initial stages, like I think Skool has, and then you see that second wave of interest, whether it's because of a big entrepreneur's investment or you see a lot of chatter, it's like, all right, it might be time to dip my toe into this thing.
yeah, definitely. More noise, with one single platform, or more top names talking about one single thing. It's a good thing.
Yeah, and
It's
I
always a good
the
thing, right?
last point I think I'll cover, Andre, because I think we talked about this before we started recording. Did I talk about the perceived value on this episode?
Yeah,
We covered it in the episode.
I think so.
I think so. Okay.
You can repeat it though. I'm not sure.
I don't know either. Yeah, we always have a little conversation beforehand, and sometimes I forget what we talked about beforehand and what we talked about after recording. So I'll just repeat it and then sign off. People know that me as the community organizer and paying $99 a month, that increases the perceived value of my community because I didn't just start a free Facebook group. So people are excited about that. They appreciate that. And it's gonna kind of pre-frame them to be more engaged and more active in it as well because they know I'm shelling out a little change to host this. So it's a perceived value thing. Add it as a bonus to a program, sell it individually, give it away for free, whatever you want to do. I think there's a lot of potential. And because I may have just repeated myself, Andre, I think it's time to end the episode. So thanks everybody for tuning into this episode of the Evolved Marketing Podcast. Check out the Skool, see what you think, poke around, and I will see everybody next week, huh?
Later, guys.